Hey y'all, Professor Dockery here. So typically I try to write an email and explain the process of goal setting, but there's always a few students who just still don't quite grasp it. So I thought instead of just sending an email with a random Prezi, I'd actually try to go through the Prezi a little bit and explain the process. So in your discussion board post this week, you're asked to think of your purpose and then create a personal, academic, and career goal. So the purpose is probably, well, I guess it might be the easiest part. That's really kind of your ideal, your reason for living. You know, your purpose could be something that's kind of outlandish, like I want to save the world. I want to, I don't know, make a difference. Those kinds of things. Be the best doctor in the world. I don't know. Those kinds of things are purpose statements. Why you get up in the morning, why you continue to live every day. But there are then goals that help you achieve that purpose. And again, you may never achieve your purpose. How will you know that you're the best doctor in the world? You can't. But your goals should help you get there, so to speak. So what's the difference? Why do we have to make a SMART goal? You'll notice that language. Doesn't mean that your goals are stupid if I tell you that your goal is not in SMART format. SMART format, it really is a way to build your goals that includes a few different properties. So just instead of saying, my goal is to get a bachelor's degree in math. Okay, well, at least that's specific. We know when you'll accomplish that, if you graduate. But at the same time, putting it into SMART format kind of helps you to check up on that goal. So, for example, if we then said, my goal is to get a bachelor's degree in math by 2021, when 2021 rolls around, you can assess your goal. Do I have my bachelor's degree yet? If yes, ding, you win. If not, then you can ask yourself, okay, what's blocking me? What can I do to get back on track? Those kinds of questions, and then you readjust your goal. Okay, maybe by 2022 now, I hope to have my bachelor's degree. So when you're writing your goal statements, you need to be a little specific, and that's really the goal of the extra credit, is to get you to think more about your goals in a SMART format way than just, I want to accomplish this thing. Because next week, you'll have an assignment where I am going to judge not the quality of your goals, so to speak, but the quality of your goal statements. So are they in SMART format? Things like that. So you may start out with a goal. Think about what you want to accomplish, put it into words. Okay, so let's pretend that your goal is to be healthier. It's a great goal, but it's not in SMART format. So how do we get it there? Okay, so first is specific. So you'll ask yourself, is my goal specific enough? Am I talking about the who, what, where, when, why, how? Or which? Like, are there requirements or constraints that I need to think about? So if we look at being healthier, it is specific. I'm identifying one thing that I want to do. Then you can ask yourself, is it measurable? So that's really asking, how will you know when you achieve it? So if we look at being healthier, how do I know when I'm healthier? So as my goal is written now, it's not really measurable. So at this point, I'll start to think, okay, what is something I can measure that will help me become healthier? So for example, I can say, okay, I'm going to go to the gym. That's something I can measure. I either go or I don't. Then we look at attainable. This is really asking, is this something you can actually accomplish? So think about your overall purpose. Is this actually something you can do? If your goal is to become a master painter and you can't even draw a square, let's be realistic. So again, if we're looking at going to the gym, are there any kind of physical limitations that would stop me and make that unrealistic? Are there any kind of maybe life limitations, like I have 5 kids to take care of, when am I going to go to the gym? So if not, then go back to our previous step, and what is a realistic way that you can become healthier? If it is attainable for you, move on. So think about being realistic. Are you really able to join the gym? Maybe you can't afford a membership. Okay, so we changed up a little bit. Okay, I promise to start riding my bike or start going for walks. Timely is really the part that most students forget, and I explained that a little bit in the beginning. It's not about, oh, I have to do my goal by this time. It's more about setting up a timeline to keep you on track and check in with yourself. So think about, when will you start going to the gym? Or how often will you go? Is there, I'll go for 3 months. Some element of time needs to be in your goal statement. So it could be by, let's see, it's June. I could say by September, I will, purchase a gym membership. Or I promise to go to the gym, 3 times a week. Or for the next 3 months, I'll go to the gym 3 times a week. So when you add all of these elements together, that's how you get a goal statement. So from the exercise, kind of the criteria we just went through, I went from my original goal idea being, I want to get healthier, to creating a SMART goal out of that, which is, in the month of March, I will go to the gym twice a week. So you can see it's specific, it's measurable. I'll know if I fail. In other words, if I don't go to the gym twice a week. It's timely, it's reasonable. So that's an example of a personal goal. Then you're going to do that for an academic goal, which is usually either, of course you're not limited to this, but for most students it's usually like, I'll get a certain GPA this semester, or, I'll graduate with a certain degree by a certain amount of time. And then your career goal, of course, is more related to what you want to become. So it could be, I will become a registered nurse by 2025, or I'll own my own business by 2030. Or it could even be a smaller element of that. It could be, getting an internship. So all of these elements work together to give you a SMART goal. And I pulled up an example from a past student. So this is the extra credit. And again, its purpose is to kind of get your goals into SMART format before next week's assignment. So you could see this student started out with, I want to read more books. So then in specific, okay, how can I make this specific? You can see they set a specific book goal and a time. Is it measurable? Well, can you tell if you can do it or not? Is it attainable? If you have 3 part-time jobs, is it reasonable to read 2 books a month? I don't know. Maybe now you say, okay, 1. And relevant, how does it tie into your purpose? And time-bound, of course, what's the time limit here? So then you'll think about, what's an obstacle? It could be, if we're using the student's example, reading. Could be having a job, having children, life. So then you'll think of 2 possible solutions to overcome that obstacle. So by the end of the worksheet for the personal goal, you'll put all this together, and you should have one nice statement that is measurable, timely, etc. So you can see we went from reading more books to, my goal is to read 2 books every month for 1 year. That's specific, it's measurable. You can also see their example here in the academic goal. I want to graduate with a good GPA. Well, what's a good GPA? We would all have different opinions about that. So now when we're getting specific, you can say, okay, I specifically want to graduate with an associate's degree and a GPA of at least 3.0. Measurable, of course, the GPA, if you either get it or you don't. The attainable part, when is it reasonable to think you can do this? Is this, if we're talking about graduating, when do you think you'll graduate? If you're really have no idea when you're going to graduate, you're taking, one class at a time, maybe saying, finishing this academic year with that GPA is helpful. So again, you have obstacles and solutions. And then by the end, there's our SMART goal statement. Graduate with my associate's degree within the next 3 years with a GPA of at least 3.0. And then finally, we go down to the career goal. I want to get a job. Okay, pretty vague. So under specific, what kind of job? Under measurable, you're either hired or you're not, as the student points out. Is this attainable? Well, it's usually why you go to college, to get a job. And so on and so forth. You can see they're thinking about their obstacles and how they can solve that. So then by the end of the sheet, we have our SMART goal. My career goal is to be hired by a video game studio as an artist within 2 years of graduating with my bachelor's degree. There we go. Perfect SMART goal. Here's another example from a student. I'm not going to go through and read it quite as detailed, but you could see right off the bat they had pretty good SMART goals here. They already had a timeline and things like that. For their academic goal, you could see to be accepted into a doctorate of physical therapy program. By the time they got to their final, they'd really just had to add a timeline to that. And then their career goal is to teach veterinary professionals how to take care of themselves. So by the end, you could see that their real goal is to start a consulting business within 5 years of graduating. So you'll probably start out with some kind of general idea, and then within time, as you start to fill out these boxes, you'll get that perfect SMART goal at the end. So I hope this is helpful. Use this as you're starting to work on the discussion board. I'd really suggest the extra credit. It might be our only opportunity this semester. Summer's pretty short. And ultimately, it helps you get full credit on your goals in next week's assignment. I will try my best to go through the extra credit as it's submitted so I can give you feedback to then go and work on next week's assignment. If you've already turned stuff in and maybe this video is helping you realize you didn't do things correctly, just put a little comment in the assignment submission that you're going to keep working on it. That way I don't grade it. And feel free to fix it and submit it. All right. Have a good day, guys.